Hey guys, this is Dumb Orange 927 here, and here with me I have Dusk Under 9, and today we're going to make a video series starting with Combat Evolved called What Happened to the Halo series.
Yep, so basically we're just taking the Halo games and seeing how they went from Halo 1 to Halo 5.
So we're basically going to start with Halo 1 and discuss the question here right now for Halo 1 is, what made Halo great in the first place? What caused it to become, at the time, such a dominant shooter in the market and just a revolutionary game. So, let's get started.
Well, Halo 1 only really had a campaign. Its multiplayer wasn't online, it just had custom games, I believe. And really what made it really good was it introduced, things that are in the series now, armor recharge rate, when you recharge your armor, I guess if that's what you want to call it. That's one innovation. Another innovation that they had was, well, it wasn't really an innovation, but it did have split screen, which was one really important thing that became a staple of Halo.
And another thing they did is also, while many games of the modern, a lot of things the modern age games have this, the ability to carry two weapons at a time, that was a very newer thing in the Halo franchise, but these are just regular things that innovated and caused other shooters to follow. But what is a big thing that made Halo as big and memorable as it is? And in my view, I believe that's a great set piece and a fantastic story.
Yeah, Halo, this was the first piece of a really good storyline throughout all the Halo games.
The Halo games started off really, they just were really strong games. They were very, okay, you have to consider, look back in the day. Games before Halo, granted they were good, but none of the console games matched to PC. It was nearly impossible. Most PC gamers were convinced that no console shooter in the face of the fabric of reality would ever stand up. And then, Halo came along, and it finally kind of was that game that could rival PC shooters and actually dominate most of them.
Yeah, so Halo 1 was pretty much the revolution of console shooters.
So, basically, another thing great about Halo 1 is, or Halo Combat Evolved, is how it was able to create such good scenery, good places, locations. It was very exploratory, if you will. There was so much to explore of this place, because think of it, this, nowadays I see you're okay, I'm just on a Halo, but back in the day, this was new for most people, being in this new alien world that was so expansive and big.
Yeah, and the graphics were definitely pretty good for an older game.
And the key ideal is that with the graphical design and all that, it just made this world feel almost lifelike in a way. Just how interesting it was. Because seriously, a ring as a planet, that's kind of cool.
Yeah, and you get to fight aliens and be your own character pretty much with the Chief. It was a pretty cool experience.
And speaking of that, the Master Chief. Well, the thing with the Master Chief is he's really just the definition of bad A in this game.
Well, yeah,
unless if he has something insightful or bad A to say, he's just a silent machine killer.
Yeah.
Which at its time isn't a bad thing. It's really cool, because really it makes it where Master Chief at this time could really be whoever you wanted. It's sometimes as the Chief, I'd, just be a soldier. Other times it's I'd almost say, is the Chief a mercenary or something?
Well, yeah. It's pretty cool the way you could be the Chief the way you wanted to and stuff.
And the way, everyone else looked up to him. You'll see Marines go hey, it's Mark 5, or, we really thought we were doomed until you showed up, sir. All the Marines, freaking worship the Chief. So, yeah, Halo 1 was really great for that purpose. And another reason Halo 1 was really good was its variety. It just had a lot of variety out of itself. One mission you may just go through room after room killing bad guys. The other one, you have to like save Marines from Covenant ambushes. The other, you have to storm a citadel with a Scorpion tank.
Well, there's also a lot of like open world. Okay, not literally open world, but it's a bit bigger than. It's like the biggest Halo game, and it's the first one. You know, it was like one of the biggest games that came out, at least at its time. You know, like in this area, like the gameplay right now, it's a really large open field that you can pretty much do what you want with, you know?
Well, yeah, if you wanted to, you can hang out on the tower and just snipe people, or you could be on the ground shooting bad guys, or you could be like...
Or you can get in the Warthog, I think that comes in here.
That comes later, but yeah, you could... It's basically like a sandbox system, where in a nutshell, whatever you want to do in this game, you can do. And basically, that's really the key ideal. It basically allows it where you, the player, is in control of the gameplay.
Well, Halo 1 was one of the best entries into the Halo series, even though like it's the first one. Like, look at this graphics. Like when you look at the glare and stuff, it was just a revolutionary game for like the genre of gaming in general, and it's a memorable game that I don't think anyone will forget, you know?
Another incorporation of Halo is, well, its characters. Every character in Halo 1 was really good. You know, Master Chief, the silent but deadly Bad A. Cortana, the very sexy and also funny AI. Captain Key, the really cool and intelligent Admiral. And obviously, probably one of, if not the most memorable character, Sergeant Avery Johnson.
Well, yeah, he was definitely a really good character.
He reminded me of Alien, Sergeant. Come on, go, go, go. The Corps isn't paying us by the hour. But basically, another incorporation of Halo 1 is the story direction. Halo 1's story, at least through my view, is fantastic.
Well, yeah, the story was a very good... Well, it was a really fun story, and it was definitely, like, a good stepping stone for the rest of the series that, like, people didn't have to... It wasn't too complicated. It was a really fun story. You had fun killing enemies, and it had different genres. Like, it had action, it had horror. It really had everything that a game needs just to be a fun...
Well, and another incorporation is how the story just changes itself a little bit. It's like, on one hand, you're basically like just trying to stop the Covenant from using Halo. And then it changes to where the Flood come into play, and then now you're just trying to stop these zombie-like beings from escaping and like devouring the galaxy.
Well, yeah, it has a lot of different like things that are introduced into the game that just make it a really fun and enjoyable game with plot twists and fun stuff to do. It doesn't really get boring, you know. There isn't very many complaints I have with the game, at least from its standards from a long time ago. It was just a really fun and enjoyable game.
Now, I think we did give enough praise, so I guess I will mention what I don't like about the game. Probably the main flaw with Halo 1, at least by campaign standpoint, is the levels do get a bit repetitive after a while.
Yeah, and one thing that is a bit, I don't know, it's not really, I guess, a complaint, but as much as there is double-edged sword to this, it is fun to have a really large open world, but eventually the scenery gets a bit, like, they all look the same, like, all the scenery looks the same, so it's hard to, like, know where you're going, you know, because it's, you know.
But I'm not saying this is so much against them, because I get it, the technology at the time was very limited, but it is something you just gotta mention.
Yeah.
But overall, Halo 1 or Halo Combat Evolved, it's a very fantastic game. It's like, what Halo 1 does so well is introduce people to this franchise, create a good scenery with good enemies, good characters, and just overall, it's a fantastic experience. And honestly, Halo Combat Evolved holds up well to today's standards.
Yeah, so that's pretty much what we had to say about Halo Combat Evolved. It was a great game for its time, and it even holds up pretty nicely well. Now it holds up pretty nicely as well. And if you guys haven't bought the Anniversary Edition, I definitely recommend it, because if you guys haven't played this game, it's definitely worth your time. So yeah.
So overall, we recommend the game Halo 1. is just overall just fantastic, and easily, it definitely is one of those things where you could definitely understand why so many people loved it. So yeah guys, that's around it for today's video. So this is part 1 for what happened to the Halo series. The next video will be discussing what happened to the Halo series when we discuss Halo 2.
So yeah guys, that's gonna wrap up the video. We'll get back to you, I guess, whenever the next
game comes in, and yeah, we'll see you later. Peace.